One of my favorite conferences that I love to speak at, the Spark Women's Leadership Conference, couldn't happen for the first time since its inception 7 years ago. However, being the resourceful women that they are, they pivoted and put things into the virtual space. So although the entire lineup has been beautifully crafted, it's been bumped to 2021 and other interesting things are happening in the meantime, including the launch of the Spark Virtual Book Club. So really lucky that Flip Side of Failing was the first book that they chose to put on. And you can imagine the savvy sisters that show up to have a conversation about all the obstacles, challenges, roadblocks that exist in their work and their personal lives right now in the middle of COVID. Well, one of the interesting phrases that really stuck with us that came out in our last session came from a lady who used to have a very senior human resources position. She was responsible for thousands of employees. She wore suits to work. She had the fanciest shoes, and she was amazing. And then the organization hit a really big slump that didn't go away. Not only did she have to lay off many of the people in the organization, she also ended up exiting from the organization too. It was devastating initially. The sense of identity that she lost, she had no idea how much her sense of self was wrapped up in not just the title, but also the going to work and getting dressed up and feeling like I have a role. Because let's face it, when you meet somebody for the first time, what's one of the first things you say? Oh, hi, what do you do? What do you answer if in fact you're between jobs? Or as in the case of her, which I give her full credit, she decided my children are small, I'm going to stay home and raise them at this phase in my career. And yet there's something about, even though she's been doing this very successfully for years, there's a piece of her that feels like maybe I'm letting myself or my education down. How many of us during this challenging time have felt like our identity is questioned? Am I a good business person? Am I making good ethical choices as a leader? Do you have survivor guilt if you're still employed and some of the other colleagues at work are laid off? Or if you too have been laid off, have you been struggling with that sense of identity as well? Well, let me share with you the advice she provided us that we loved. First we howled and then we said that is one of our favorite things ever. When you go elastic, life is fantastic. And I think literally what she meant was, when you put on the elastic yoga pants, it's a lot more comfortable to walk around the world like that. And any one of us, I think we live in elastic all weekend, don't we? And for so many of you watching, you've probably been at home working. And so you've been rocking the yoga pants too, or the pajama bottoms. Don't tell me you haven't. It is pretty good. And I think it's actually a great metaphor for how adaptable and flexible we need to be right now. Because when you can be elastic with being adaptable in terms of routines and schedules and how you manage and respond to strain and challenge, it's pretty fantastic. When you have to rigidly control things in an environment where there's virtually nothing that is known, isn't it challenging? I mean, just look at my posture, how it changed, right? So imagine if you tried to embrace that elasticity to your life. What is one aspect of your work or your personal life that if you were a little bit more flexible and adaptable, it would be a little bit more fantastical? And remember, if you think that this just sounds like a fluffy thing, adaptability and flexibility is a core function of emotional intelligence. So really, this is just simply you building your skills as a professional and as a leader. And trust me, when you become more elastic, and I'm telling you from the voice of experience, I've had to be extremely elastic in my business right now. It is pretty fantastic. What do you think? What have you found? What are some of your strategies that help you to be more flexible, even in uncertain times where you feel like you need to have it all figured out? I would love for you to share those strategies below. And of course, share this video with anyone that you think would benefit from that elasticity factor. My name's Sarah McVanel, helping you to be your greatness magnified every week. Please subscribe so you don't miss an episode.